The flooding yesterday in Vermont was no joke. I took this video at the bridge across from my parents' house, and it was so dramatic to see the water rising so violently and so quickly. This was the glass-blowing Simon Pierce, and they were obviously closed, but this was the parking lot. We noticed the water was rising quite quickly, so I grabbed Delta and we went back to my mom's house so I could try to help her get things out of the garden before the water crept all the way up. Just for some context, I wanted to show you this was a few days ago on this bench on my mom's backyard. Here's that same bench. Gone. This was a few days ago. I slowed it down. You can see the garden is all the way back there. This is me standing in the garden last night. I really learned how fast water can move in a flood. This was a few days ago. Delta was taking some video by the fire pit with her swing. Here's that fire pit last night, and there's the swing. Anyway, we got very lucky overall. We're all safe, which is the most important thing, and property damage.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the latest on environmental issues around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell to stay updated. Today, we're delving deep into a crisis that's touching every corner of the globe, the devastating impact of flooding due to climate change. Let's dive in. In recent weeks, the eastern seaboard of the United States has been battered by massive floods. The impact is alarming and, with the current trajectory of global warming due to climate change, it's an event that we can expect to happen more frequently and more severely. These aren't just random incidents. They signal a marked shift in our weather patterns as our planet heats up. Michael Mann, a noted climate scientist from the University of Pennsylvania, categorically states that the situation has escalated beyond what can be considered a new normal. He describes the current state of affairs as a new abnormal, highlighting the extreme deviation from previous patterns. On Tuesday, Vermont experienced the brunt of this new abnormal. Heavy floods trapped residents in their homes, and roads became impassable. Earlier in the week, New York's Hudson Valley was in a similar predicament, with torrential rains leading to severe flood warnings. As it stood on Tuesday, 11 million people across the nation were under flood warnings. However, this isn't a problem exclusive to the United States. This is a global issue, with countries like India, Japan, China, and Turkey witnessing devastating floods in the past year alone. These disasters have resulted in millions of people being displaced and vast amounts of property damage. Everywhere is at risk, warned Mann. The western, central, and eastern US, Europe, and Asia are all under threat. He cites the tragic floods in Pakistan last year, which displaced over 30 million people, as one of the clearest examples of the far-reaching impacts of climate change. The connection between global warming and increased flooding is straightforward. As Earth's temperature rises, the atmosphere's capacity to hold water increases. This leads to more intense precipitation when it rains, which in turn significantly raises the probability of floods. According to the Center for Climate and Energy Solutions, a temperature rise of 1 degree centigrade corresponds to a 7% increase in atmospheric water vapor capacity. Given current climate change trajectories, global temperatures could reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius increase threshold by the 2030s, promising more rain, and by extension, more floods. In the expanded text, we would delve further into the science of climate change, the specific incidents of flooding around the world, personal accounts from those affected, an analysis of government response and potential solutions, among other topics. We would also look at the types of floods, the regions most affected, the impact of flooding on human lives and the economy, and the steps that are being taken or could be taken to mitigate this impact. Understanding the different types of floods is crucial to appreciate the full scope of the problem. Floods can occur whenever an overflow of water submerges land that is usually dry. Common causes of floods include heavy rainfall, rapid snowmelt, or a storm surge from a tropical cyclone or tsunami in coastal areas. Depending on the cause and the characteristics of the area where they occur, floods are categorized into three main types. First, there are flash floods, which are caused by rapid and excessive rainfall that quickly raises water levels. In these situations, rivers, streams, channels, or even roads may be overtaken without warning, posing significant danger to life and property. Second, we have river floods, which happen when persistent rain or snowmelt causes a river to exceed its capacity, flooding the surrounding areas. Lastly, coastal floods occur due to storm surges associated with tropical cyclones and tsunamis. These can be especially destructive due to the additional impact of strong winds and the power of the sea. The numbers tell a grim story. Between 1998 and 2017, floods affected more than 2 billion people worldwide. These figures make floods the most frequent type of natural disaster. People who live in floodplains or non-resistant buildings, or who lack warning systems and awareness of the flooding hazard, are the most vulnerable. Furthermore, these natural disasters have increased in frequency and intensity over the years. The severity of extreme precipitation, which often leads to floods, is expected to continue to rise due to climate change. As such, floods account for between 80 to 90% of all documented disasters from natural hazards over the past 10 years. Other contributing disasters include droughts, tropical cyclones, heat waves, and severe storms. The escalating situation is a result of the increased frequency of heavy precipitation, changes in upstream land use, and a continuously increasing concentration of population and assets in flood-prone areas. This is often compounded by inadequate flood planning and management practices. Sea level rise, another consequence of global warming, has increased the vulnerability to storm surge and related coastal flooding. Between 1970 to 2012, storms and floods alone have caused over 1 million deaths. Flash floods, while accounting for approximately 85% of all flooding cases, also carry the highest mortality rate. They are among the world's deadliest disasters, claiming more than 5,000 lives annually. These disasters often strike without warning, making them especially dangerous. Despite their destructive nature, floodplains are often attractive areas for human development. A significant share of the world's population depends, directly or indirectly, on the natural resources that floodplains provide. As such, a critical part of tackling the increasing problem of floods is proper flood management. The shift from a single-focused approach, such as flood control, towards an integrated flood management approach is crucial. Such an approach takes into account flood risks in managing water resources, and seeks to balance the needs for safety with sustainable development practices. But it's not just about prevention and management. Coping with the aftermath of floods is a significant challenge in itself. Floods cause widespread devastation, damaging personal property and vital public health infrastructure. In the wake of such disasters, providing aid and rebuilding becomes a critical task for governments and humanitarian organizations. If you found this information helpful or eye-opening so far, remember to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family.